Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Prey. Alright, cast and crew information down below. And we'll start off with this IMDb plot. The origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. Naru, a skilled warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. Yes. All right. So we're jumping into the predator world here. I'm gonna skip right to the point and say that I was a little skeptical. When the first reviews were out from a lot of the press and media and whatever, everybody seemed to jump on it and like it, but kind of gone down that road before and seen some of those uh, reactions and then watched the movie and they were just not as good. But I'm gonna kind of echo what everybody has said, and you guys don't even have to wait to the end of this for me to say it. But yeah, this movie was pretty good. I'll give you the official rating at the end, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say that this was a good movie. Um, just like everybody else has been saying, it's been from everything that I see on Twitter and everywhere on social media, I've seen mostly good things about it. So, and it says 7.2 here on IMDb, so that's pretty good in itself, especially for Predator, especially for a horror movie. And so let's kind of just jump into this. You already know that I like the movie, but let's just jump into it. Obviously, this is like the prequel or the origin story, as they say. Kind of a world where never really imagined Predator going back in time like this. I did post a on our Sunday scares that promote horror, uh, a medieval short film that included the Predator. I don't remember the exact title of it, but it was a short film, small budget, and they did a pretty good job, and that was kind of interesting. So I guess it can work out, and I've seen it done a couple times with different other characters, sticking them in different uh, time periods that we wouldn't expect them to be in, and so sending the Predator back 300 years was pretty cool, and then obviously taking on a tribe here is a different element. And when I first, and I'll be honest, when I first saw, the trailer and the information about this, I thought, oh, Predator's gonna go against a tribe. I mean, come on, like Arnold and his military forces with all those weapons, and whenever had a hard time enough taking down the Predator, how in the hell is a tribe gonna take him down with axes and arrows and that kind of thing? So I was a little iffy on that. I'll admit to that. I wasn't sure. The matchup there was gonna be very fair. And, kind of as this movie kind of plays out, you kind of see that. I mean, Predator obviously has a huge advantage, but he always seems to have a huge advantage. And it's obviously a hero based thing. We saw it with Arnold. Arnold had to overcome. We saw it in some of the sequels, and we're gonna see it here again in Naru. And so I guess as far as the story goes, we see early on, we see a little introduction to her, a little introduction to the tribe, and a little bit of introduction to the tribe element there. You see her, she wants more respect in her tribe. She kind of thinks that she can do what her brother can do, what some of the other men can do. She doesn't want to just take that gatherer, cooker kind of role. She believes she can do more of the manly role here, and she wants to be a hunter. She wants to prove herself, and you see she has some smarts to her, and that's basically really at the end of the day what kind of carries her. She definitely has some courage there. Maybe it needs to be built up over the course of the movie. But she's definitely smart, and that is definitely going to pay off for her in the end. And so we kind of see that early on, her, a little bit of the skills that she does have. One of the best things she does, she has the best companion, and a nice friendly dog who I say is almost the star of the show in a very subtle way. And he's fun to watch, and it's good that they use the dog there to tag along. And we see her and her on a hunting. They go out. She's kind of on her own. We see her with the dog, and then a little later on, we kind of see one of the tribe people are kind of in trouble. They're lost. So there's a search party of sorts that goes out looking for him. They find him injured. They figure it's a lion, and they're gonna hunt this lion. And this is probably one of the biggest things that Naru's been a part of. And while she is with her brother and a group of men, they see her there as more of the medicine woman, the one that is going to help heal their friend when they find him if he's injured. And a little bit for her tracking, and obviously she has the dog, so that helps. And we kind of see it in action, and maybe things don't go as expected for her, but this is where she kind of sees the predator, or feels that there's something out there. Maybe doesn't see the predator exactly, but kind of knows that while everybody's hunting this lion, that maybe there's something else out there that they should be more paying attention to. And that's again her smarts there. The guys are all just targeted on, hey, let's get this lion. And obviously the brother gets the lion and comes back, and he's the hero, and everybody wants to praise him. But she's like, no, this is not right. There's something else out there. So she does what people do in these horror movies, as opposed to just staying away from the scary stuff and whatever. She's gonna go search out for it, just like some of the shark movies. While we're in the water, we're gonna go mess with the sharks. We get out of the water, we're gonna go back and mess with the sharks. I understand. We're gonna make it out of the house. We're gonna go back into the house for some reason, whatever. So yeah, she's gonna go search out the predator. Not a good idea. She has no idea what's in store for her, and for her first real, um, uh, view of the predator. It's a pretty awesome scene. I, you know, people, we can have this debate about trailers and stuff and scenes, and as someone who like me who shares them all the time, shame on me, but yeah, they kind of ruin that scene, because you see that scene, or at least I saw that scene in one of the trailers, and and I'm referencing the bear. That's a pretty cool scene there, and obviously there's a little bit more than they show in the trailer, but that was a pretty cool scene to start. Mixing the predator in with her, and that is kind of ruined. I wish they would have just left that out of the trailer, but what can you do? There's plenty of other good stuff they didn't show, but that's an interesting scene, and kind of one of the things I liked early on is kind of how they set the predator up. Obviously he's gonna stay hidden, and they're gonna kind of echo the theme of the movie here. He is the predator, he is the ultimate predator, but the movie's prey, so there are a couple of times in the movie where early on, especially, where they kind of show things that are prey, other animals eating other animals, and then show again that predator is the ultimate predator, and he's on top, and you get a fabulous view that I thought was very, very cool. We all know the predator can be invisible, and there's a scene where you kind of see through him. The camera's kind of shooting through him at some animals that are on the other side of him, and I thought that was a pretty interesting shot. Not kind of going, like I said, with that theme there, but it's not a shot that was necessary in the movie, but actually was pretty cool, and nice little throw in there. Um, you know, we can talk about. I don't want to go too much more into the story here. New movie. I know a lot of people have already seen it already, but I don't want to get into spoilers and stuff. Obviously, you pretty much know what's going to happen. Um, obviously, Naru is going to continue to search out the predator, and obviously they're going to have an ultimate battle. But besides that, I guess a few things to talk about. Is the predator and his weapons. This is 300 years from the time that we kind of saw, him and fighting Arnold, and then later on. Um, and he has some similar things. He obviously has, the weapons on his arm. He has that um, device where he, can punch in keys and stuff happens. I think they have an interesting little twist on that. Uh, he uses the same three dots that we've got very familiar from in Predator. Um, you don't want landing on your head or anywhere on your body. This time it's not really a laser. There's another trick to it. That was a little interesting. It was a little interesting that he had the laser technology, maybe not the laser beams and blasts, but that he had the laser technology. Also interesting that he had the invisibility back then. Uh, but I think, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it. I just thought it was very interesting, especially with the timing of things, to think how far really advanced he is, and then when you think about it, how little maybe he has come in 300 years. I don't know, how you want to play that game, if you want to think that, how advanced he is or was and how far he's come. I don't know. Or they've come, it's a group of them. Um, but anyway, they do some similarities and sprinkle in some new stuff. He has some cool shield looking thing. Um, that was pretty interesting. Um, so he has those things going for him, and obviously, he's prepared, and he also has that healing thing that I think if I remember right, he did in either Predator or one of the other versions. Um, kind of when he gets hurt, he has a way to help heal himself, so we see that again. So yeah, they do a good job of keeping some things that obviously you want to see, and then adding a few wrinkles. And I guess you can make an argument where his technology lies here and there, depending on the movies and whatever. Um, Obviously, one of the things that I really liked about the movie, there's lots of things I like about the movie, but uh, were some of the kills. There's um, another group of people that Naru comes across, and then the Predator comes across, and the Predator ends up fighting and basically annihilating, and it's just a ton of good deaths that you get to see the Predator in action, just killing a bunch of people left and right, and when that I'm blood and guts guy. So, when I see that kind of scene come across and just see the Predator kind of unleash his arsenal and just go at it. He's being attacked from many a people, from many an angle, and he's going to just unleash, his weaponry and his skill and everything, and just destroying people left and right. It is a great scene. It is a great scene to see some of the deaths that he pulls off. Um, some of the other times we see him early on, killing some other animals, and showing that, he's obviously again the top predator. But obviously when he's fighting this group of people, that's probably one of the best death scene kind of things going on in this movie. He does fight some of the tribe, obviously, and there's some good action there as well. Um, I don't want to get into too specifics. There's another good scene later on, and obviously, kind of like Arnold did. Naru has to face the predator and kind of figure out what she's going to do against him, and obviously, she does some pretty good stuff there as well, and she figures out her own ways to kind of um, to try to defeat the predator here, kind of like Arnold had to figure it out. and there's some odes. There's some odes to the movies there. There's a scene where Naru's gonna kind of get all muddy there, and we remember Arnold getting muddy. There's reference to a gun that we see in one of the other Predator movies. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's that. You know, there's a lot of talk about the end of the movie, kind of teasing, maybe a sequel to either this movie or referencing some stuff that's happened in other Predator movies. So there's that going on. So, I mean, that is kind of a tease and things that fans like to see, and all that was good. But I liked, obviously the deaths. I liked how the story just kept going. We quickly learn about her. I thought there were times in the movie where they had the opportunity to make it a drag and kind of talk about stuff or show stuff that we really weren't interested in, but instead they kept on point, kept the story moving, and kind of kept the focus on her and kept the focus on the predator and kept them moving in the same direction to have that ultimate clash obviously towards the end of the movie. And I don't think that they wasted too much time. They like I said, they showed some times where predator was kind of watching other animals be predators and so forth. But I while not totally necessary, but you could see why they did that, and I don't have a problem with that. I was worried that maybe we'd get a little too much into the tribe stuff, but I think they kept that minimal enough and just showed you what you needed to, and we didn't go too far into it, and kept you on point and kept the predator coming and kept the predator there. Whether it was just him kind of learning the lay of the land early on, and while the tribe was doing their thing, and then eventually becoming closer and closer to the interaction between him and that group, and then the other group that's later introduced into the film. So I liked that they kept it going like that. So um, I don't really know what else to say, other than, really enjoying the movie, and obviously Naru is a great character. Another example of a strong female, a woman who, you know, has the tools, puts everything together, and kind of comes out on top in the end. And she's got another story. Everybody loved the performance by Amber Midthunder. That's a pretty cool name. Everybody loved her performance. She did a terrific job, and so did many of the other actors and actresses in this movie. But obviously, she was the center of attention, and she does a great job with it and everything that she has to handle. I don't know, how many stunts she did versus not do, and so forth like that. But whatever she did do, if she did, props to her. Um, but a lot of people also have props to, including indigenous people, a tribe here in the movie, or people with that background. And we've seen that more and more in horror recently, and a lot of people are calling for more movies like this, and I say do it. Why not? Again, if you kind of can do an older story like this, I like other time periods things, because sometimes we see too much stuff set in our time and things that we can relate too much to. Um, when we can kind of get out there and maybe into a group of people we can't relate to as much. Sometimes that adds something new to the table. Sometimes with a group of people or a different time period are good things. You know, uh, Lots of talk about. I saw some post. Where does the predator go next? Do we put him in different time periods and such? Like I mentioned, he was that short film that he was in a medieval time. Where can you land the predator? Where can you put the predator? I mean, you can put him anytime, obviously from 300 years till now. Obviously, I don't think you want to sprinkle them in too much, because then you kind of take away from some of the older movies, and be like, they're surprised of, oh, the Predator, surprise. If he's been here a lot, then there's going to be less surprise because people are going to know. And one of the things I was kind of thinking of towards the, after watching this movie was, and forgive me, I don't remember his name, the Native American guy who was in the original Predator movie. I was wondering, and I was, I've seen that movie a lot, but, thinking this, I was thinking, maybe how much, maybe he, was he kind of related to anybody in this tribe? I know, just because he's Native American and they were Native Americans in this movie doesn't mean they knew each other. But, just throwing it out there, just a thought that kind of came across my mind, like, how much could you play with, him maybe having known something that was passed down. The Predator, obviously, two different movies, two different, they were made in two different times. There's no way, that they were drawing any kind of connection there, but, just a thought. Anyway, if you guys have some interesting thoughts on where you want to see the Predator, feel free to hit it up on the comment section down below. Maybe even out in the future, I mean, just, we went into the past, you can go into the future, wherever you want to go, throw it in the comment section where you want to see the Predator go next. He's going to be back. This movie was big, and some people are concerned because Hulu's run by Disney, so if we were ever going to get another Predator movie, and then this movie ended up so good, that we're going to get another one, and probably sooner than later. So where does the Predator go next? I know a lot of people didn't like those movies, but I like to see the Predator go against Alien. While I wouldn't mind seeing Predator maybe in another time period, somewhere in between this movie and obviously the movies that we've seen, that would be fine. But I would also vote for seeing Predator go against Alien again. I my fault with, I'm not going to review those movies here either, but I guess my fault with those movies are they get too much human interaction and we don't get enough Predator Alien action. And obviously you need the humans to kind of control the story and to move the story along. But if you could find out, a pure way to have those two kind of battle it out, I'd be all for that again. Those are when you talk about Predator and Prey, are two big predators there going against each other. That is pretty cool stuff. I liked at least that action of it. So with that, well, I'll leave it off on that, and I'm gonna give this 4 pools of blood. I know I never really reviewed the original Predator. I don't know what I would give the original Predator. I kind of always saw it more as an action movie, first and foremost, than a horror movie, and so I don't really know where I would land it on the scale. Obviously, it was a really really good movie, so it would probably be up in the same area. I really don't want to say one is better than the other and such and that. I don't really want to, and I'd have to see some of the Predator sequels again if I was going to rank them all. But I'm going to give this one 4 pools of blood. Really strong effort here. It might, it's going to probably be on a lot of people's top 10 horror movies of the year. As it is right now, it's probably going to be in my top 10 list. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. There's nothing really for me to complain about the movie with. Maybe not rating it higher because I'm not going to say that I'm in love with it or it sparked me like some of the last movies that I kind of put in my kind of top group. But really enjoyable movie. Really liked it. Liked what they did. Really nothing to complain about. I could give it 5 pools of blood, and not worry about it either. So, take it one or the other here. I'm gonna leave it open for anywhere in between. Not 5, because I really have to love a film for it to be 5. Like, it just really has to hit me for it to be a 5. Of course, for those not familiar, this is out of 5, so that make it more sense there. So with that, horrorsgorereviews.blogspot.com. That's where you can find more of my reviews, written reviews, and all the video reviews are posted there as well. But if you're just interested in these video reviews, you can do the subscribe, like kind of thing, and Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, where else you can find me. And you can talk about this movie, where you want to see the Predator next. You can hit me up there as well, or in the comment section. And I guess we will catch you on the next review, horror fans.